And we are live. Drop a comment in the chat if you can hear me. All right, loud and clear. Cool, we got Parikshit, we got Johnny on display, Matthias, Licketh Reddy, Delwyn, Sahil. Good stuff. Thanks for joining, guys. I would love to hear where you're calling from. West Coast, East Coast, calling from out of the country, maybe Europe, Asia. We got Texas, London, Canada, Rhode Island, California. Oh man, I used to live in Georgia. I see Florida there. And every summer we would go down to Florida for a family vacation. And man, I had the most fun in Florida. Oh, I see another Florida, Phoenix, Texas, Arizona, Gainesville, Florida. All right. Is it snowing where anyone's at the moment? Indiana. Yeah, right now I'm in Reno, Nevada, which is close to the Tesla semi-factory. Oh, we got a Michigan ex-intern at Tesla, sick. And yeah, so I moved out here 5 years ago. We back in 2017 we started making the batteries and drive units, and a few years ago we started the semi program here. And to be honest, I had no idea that Reno existed. Have you guys heard of Reno before? Oh, we got Rochester. Yeah, one of my good buddies is in Rochester, and he said, like, they normally get a lot of snow there, but because of all the excess snow, they had to shut down some universities. Oh, we got Tahoe. That's sick. Yeah, literally, Soham. I only heard about Reno because of Tesla. I thought I was going to go to California, but lo and behold, I'm 30 minutes away from the border. Giga Nevada for the intern showcase. Is that the intern showcase for like new hire interns? When I joined in 2020, we did like the regular onboarding. I don't know if we had a showcase though. Yep. Top Gear USA road trip. Dude, I did this insane road trip back in college. A couple of my buddies who were like super adventurous, they said, "Hey, let's go on a 10-day road trip and hit like 30 states." And we literally packed like 3 tents in our car. And this was in December, so I remember we got to Colorado and we had to stop driving because there was too much snow, and we literally set up our tents in the snow, bro. It was insane. Thankfully, my friends told me to get like a sub-zero sleeping bag, so that literally kept me alive. Oh, okay, so you knew someone that worked at Tesla as an intern, then you went there. That's when the interns do their like final presentation of like what they worked on. Yeah, 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 okay. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't remember that. Yeah, we just have I just a new intern just started on our team, and pretty much every like so like I'm on the Axle team at Tesla, and every semester it seems like our team is getting an intern. So last semester it was a guy from Waterloo. I won't share his name just to keep it confidential, but um, yeah, it ended up being a great internship. He helped us out a lot. He was like a mechanical design focus, so he was helping us design some fixtures. And then this summer we have a controls engineer intern, which is pretty cool. That's honestly for myself. Like a lot of people ask why I work at Tesla and why I'm still here, because I've been here for about 5.5 years, and literally every single day I go into work, my day could be it could be interviewing people, it could be talking with my manager on a leadership issue going on or a people issue. It could be like holding the have you guys used Fanic robots, anyone? Where it has like the teach pendant, you can move it around, you can program it. It could be like diagnosing a Fanic issue. We could be remoting into a Keyence vision system. Like, uh, it's pretty insane. So I love my job. How many people here worked at Tesla? Like internship or full time? I think we got a couple. Nice, Raul. Done some Fanic. What, those of you that worked with, oh, did I ever get to work with Elon? Man, that would be very interesting. I would, if I had the opportunity, I would. I don't know if I would survive. But back in 2022, Elon came. He came to Tesla to help deliver a semi truck to a customer. So that was like one time that I saw him. But I didn't meet him personally. That's definitely something I want to do before I leave Tesla. Controls engineer, powertrain. Yeah, good question. Uh, so really, I think some of the most important things if you're trying to go for like an internship or entry level is just having not only having a great resume, which we'll touch on today, but um, showcasing your projects, showing how you've added value to your school or to other companies. And like really, we're looking for jack of all trades, like controls, robotics, even some mechanical design. Yeah, man, keep applying, bro. Like to be honest, I in 2020 I was interning in Georgia at this like electrical construction company. I applied to probably 100 companies during it was like during COVID, and dude, like no one got back. No one got back to me. I did land. I somehow landed an interview at Tesla, uh, and the first couple of guys that I interviewed with didn't hire me for their team, but then they recommended me to another colleague at Tesla. So, bro, like, yeah, it was, it was a huge blessing that I got it. Because a lot of these internships, man, like, we'll get like 50, 60 or more applicants. Tesla Energy, yeah, Tesla Energy's doing great. Interned in Nevada as an industrial engineer. Yeah, I have a couple friends on that team. That's awesome. Let's see. Lay's Pepsi. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's public info. You can look it up. Um, interview for is yeah, dude. I feel you. Ton viral. That's your YouTube name. Yeah, dude. I had so many interviews. I didn't even get a lot of people messaging me back after I applied. So I feel you there. It's kind of a game of statistics. You apply, you set up your resume as best you can. You build connections, and then it's like you just apply, apply, apply. Sahil, you did your process internship in Tesla Energy. That's awesome. How data oriented is the process role? I would say pretty, like the more data oriented you are, the better, along with like good people and leadership skills. And I think, is it Nand? Is that your name? That's a good, I think that's a good point to bring up, and we can get more into that later. But you'll find a lot of engineers, like I'm sure you guys have met some, they're so focused on like what they're working on the computer, which is really good. But if they have that strong technical skill but lack the people skills and communication skills, a lot of their work can actually um, go to waste in a way that it's not, if they're not communicating and working and collaborating with people around them, they could end up working on things that are not, they think it'll be a big win, but maybe the team has different needs. So that reminds me of a story. I was at work, and there was a design engineer sitting close to one of the manufacturing engineers, and they would message on Teams like about something they were working on, and they had never actually talked in person. So we were working on some project, and then they finally, like, I realized, okay, this guy in design, oh, the guy working on the system is on the manufacturing team is literally sitting right next to him. And then when the three of us got together and talked in person, we got like, we took the project like 20% further, 30% further, just because we had that in person interaction. And there was like, oh, like I didn't understand you were asking for this. Because honestly, you can only communicate so much on Teams or whatever system you're using at work. Um, but I think when you're in person and you actually are face to face with someone, you have that personal connection. You can kind of see their emotions. Maybe they agree verbally, but then you can kind of see their body language is, I don't know about this. So over like text, you can't really tell. Unless you're anyone here a master at using emojis? I have not mastered that, so I try to stick to the in person if I can. Oh yeah, maintenance. Really really good maintenance teams at Tesla. I wish you the best in that. I work very closely with maintenance. Oh, Omkar, you're yeah, dude. I literally worked in Swanee at MC Dean. That's cool. What company, if you don't mind sharing? I love that area. That's cool. Um, yeah, we'll get into portfolio later. Great question. Cool, cool. Honestly, I could just be reading this chat all day, and we could just keep it to this. But I also wanna I promised you guys some slides on resume advice, so let's get to that as well. Emojis on lock. Dude, I'm trying to lock in my emoji game. I gotta share that comment. Emojis on lock. That's what I'll work on next. Oh, yo, that's Chris. Hey, what's up, Chris? Yeah, maybe you can help host a emoji session and help us out there. Okay, sweet. Interested in robotics, but currently there are no openings for a summer. Yeah, it's hard, dude. Like I literally for my team, I only have one headcount for intern, and I tell people, man, it's one of the hardest things because I'll get like maybe 50 good resumes, and I have to say no to 49. So that's a hard part about um, I guess, management side. Cool. Yeah, yeah, the emojis. Hey, drop in the chat your favorite emoji. Let's see it. What's up, Ian? Hey guys, my friend Ian K. Ross, who just commented, is also doing live streaming, so go check him out. Oh, the rocket ship. Yeah, dude, that's a good one. Oh, bro, CM, I use that one all the time at work. The saluting face. Nice. Oh yeah, that's the new one. The shaky face. Oh, yo, what's up, Carson? That's I've never. Oh, that's like the shaking the head. Do you guys know what that means? Like, it's like a guy shaking his head. It doesn't look like he's saying no. It's like his whimsical or something. Sorry, no serious questions now. We're doing emojis, which is serious, I guess. Oh, dude, you did 5 rounds of interview with the semi? Didn't make it? Oh, that's dude. The fact that you made it that far is really great. That's awesome. Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh man, look at those emojis. The goat, the graph emoji, bro. Heck yeah. Yeah, dude. Thanks for the kind words. I think it's Suganesh. Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. This is my first time doing something like this, so it's I'm a little bit nervous, but I think you guys make it fun, and I think this is the start of a cool like we're gonna build a cool community together. Yeah, keep going. I know a lot of people actually. A couple people in this chat that I noticed they actually start off at Tesla as like a operator or a maintenance tech, which are really like challenging and high value roles. And a lot of what Tesla's really good about is you get in as a an operator because like statistically it's a little bit easier to get in as an operator, I would say, just because they're like the most operators are the most value add role in any manufacturing company. If you guys didn't know that, they're the only team that actually provides value to the company directly. So you can actually, if you really want to get into Tesla, you can apply to be an operator, and actually that's honestly one of the best ways to learn is actually running the equipment and building our sick products. So for those of you who are like really wanting to get a job at Tesla, that is a good option. So feel free to message me on LinkedIn to get more info there. Cool. Well, yeah, I'll get back to the chat here in a bit. Oh, Ian, love that one. I wanted to get into fencing at one point, but yeah, I just couldn't get away from swimming. That was my thing. Sweet. You guys ready for this presentation? All right, so just a quick outline here. So we'll do a very quick about me. I want to keep that brief. And then, dude, like I spent so much time on this presentation. I mean like a decent amount of time. But bro, like Thursday this week came around. I made the post on LinkedIn. Thank you guys for commenting and resharing that, by the way. I was expecting maybe 10 comments like saying, "Hey, I'm interested." But thanks to you guys, it got quite a few comments, and I was like, "Shoot, I gotta prepare something." So Thursday night came around. I hadn't made a presentation yet, so I put this thing together, and I'm hoping for you guys. Let me know what's helpful. Maybe we can touch on more topics. So again, I so appreciate you guys joining. So yeah, resume mistakes, like common ones that I'll see a lot when people apply. and then we'll get into some skill sets to work on. And a lot of these skill sets are not taught in schools, so I'd love your guys' thoughts on these. And then we'll do some more live Q&A. And I was actually thinking, what are your guys' thoughts on this? You guys are obviously in the chat. This is amazing. Maybe I could I could give you guys the opportunity to join it live, and I could share you on the screen, and we can have a real-time convo. So if that's something you guys want to do later, like, I'm super down for that. And then for those of you that are stay till the end, I'm gonna have like a bonus free PDF with some extra content. Hopefully it's helpful. Dude, have you guys ever set up an automated email system, like on a funnel? I had to learn that like the past 2 days, and honestly, like I think that I'm pretty smart being an engineer, but that was like harder than programming in Siemens for me, like figuring out how to set up an automated email system. Oh yeah, you did keto recipes. Oh dude, if you make any keto recipes, send them my way. I've been trying to lower my carbs and increase my protein. Click funnels. Dude, keto recipes. Let's chat. Let's do some DMing together. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, if you guys have any advice for me, because I first used like this system called System.io, and then it was weird. It sent an email to my friend's spam email box, and it like told them to subscribe. I'm like, I don't want to put you guys through that. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Shoot me a message on LinkedIn, Keto. Let's talk about it. Maybe we can even hop on a phone call. Nice. Club purposes. Yeah, so you guys let me know. I don't know how well my system works. It probably needs some work, so you guys review me, rate me at the end. Cool. So just a quick uh obviously this is just on the paper, like some of my schooling and some of my work. So high school, I was actually homeschooled. Do we have any homeschoolers in the chat? Warm up the email, bro. Dude, it's cold in Reno, so I gotta find a way to warm up my emails. That's good. Ian, yeah, homeschool, let's go. Carson, dude, I didn't know you were homeschooled. And honestly, like, part of me wishes I went to a public school, because I think like things like clubs would have been really, really fun. Oh, dude, Theo. Yeah, Theo, I think I talked to you the other week, right? You interviewed. That's cool, man. I didn't know you were homeschooled. Hoff and Hoff. Yeah, so my parents gave me the option. They said, "Hey, you want to be homeschooled or go to like a government school?" And honestly, where I lived in Georgia, the schools weren't that great. So I ended up doing like it was kind of like college where you go in like 1 or 2 days a week, and then they give you a bunch of work to do by yourself. So one of my brothers ended up going to public school, and he loved it. He joined their swim team, and I was on like a club swim team, so I still had a lot of fun with that. And then yeah, Kevin, I was born in Johannesburg. So I don't know if anyone here was born in Africa or South Africa or have been to Africa. Carson did half and half. Nice. I think that's a nice way to go. You kind of get the best of both worlds. and not too much of one, which is maybe good. Yeah, Ian, I was also very homeschooled and still am. Oh, Nigeria, dude, that's so cool. Is uh is Lagos in Nigeria? That's the capital, if I'm not wrong. Ian's been to Africa many times. Oh, dude, Cape Town, bro. Cape Town's probably one of my favorite cities. Low key, I've sometimes looked at like job openings for Cape Town. I haven't found anything good yet, so if you guys know of anything, let me know. Kevin, what South African music do you listen to? Economic capital. I don't know what that is. Nice. Cool. Yeah, so yeah, the for university I did like uh I went to a smaller college called University of North Georgia. That's cool. And then I transferred into a bigger school, Georgia Tech, to finish out my degree. Did anyone do transferring in college, or did you guys like stick with the same college? I honestly liked my I honestly like my the smaller school I think better just cuz I like the student to professor ratio was really good. Kevin did some transferring. Nice. Oh yeah, Theo. Yeah, that's wild, man. You were born in a time of the Civil War, did a homeschooling up to 5th grade. Yeah, I've heard on a lot of parts of that area is like it's pretty rough, man. Even South Africa is pretty rough right now. Same college, transferred majors. Whoa, what majors did you transfer, Abdullah? Matthias transferred, Palak transferred. Yeah, it's pretty common nowadays. I think like back in the day, a lot of people would just stick at the same college. But I think there's just so many good opportunities, and I mean, obviously everyone's like in a different situation. Sometimes we need to move. For me, UNG didn't offer the full mechanical major, so I had to go to Georgia Tech. But with Georgia Tech, it was nice. Obviously, it's like known as a pretty good school, and it was like 45 minutes away from my house, so transferring was like really easy for that. Mechie to IS. Industrial Systems, is that what that is? Trying to transfer into mechanical engineering. Yeah, that's what I did. Honestly, dude, for the first 3 years of college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I was like relatively good at math, but I ended up picking mechanical because it was the most broad, and I'm like, man, I don't know what I want to do. So I just picked something that could kind of go into any field. Yeah, that's cool. Rail Array, if I'm pronouncing that right. I've heard good things about industrial systems or information systems. Nice. Cool. Yeah, and then so I did a few internships at some other companies. I think the one at ZF was the best because it was like at most pertained to Tesla because it was manufacturing. So that's another tip. If you guys are in school, definitely try to if you're interested in manufacturing or Tesla, then try to get like oftentimes people at Tesla look for people who have existing internships. Heard about their gearboxes, bro. Gearboxes go big at Tesla, bro. Yeah. Oh, Siam, great question. Do I love my job? Do I feel Like, you now know what you want to do. Bro, I have. Okay, first question. Yes, I love my job. And there are definitely days I go in and I'm like, man, I would much rather be, doing my own thing. I would much rather be swimming in a pool or hanging out with friends or sleeping in, whatever. But dude, big picture, man, I found because of the good leadership on my team and because I've been able to develop my technical and people skills, I really really feel fulfilled at my job. And do you feel like you now know what you want to do? Honestly, bro, like I still have no idea. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. I for a while I was trying to I've really had a desire to have a like an online presence and community just to like connect with people around the world and share things that may help them and vice versa, learn from people. So that's kind of why I started this. Like I decided to do this live stream. So yeah, man, I'm figuring it out, bro. Life is not easy, but it's a adventure. Thanks for asking. Great question. Um, I just created an X. I don't typically look at it too much. Just I think politics for me, there's a lot of negativity, so I find X has a lot of politics. So I try to stay away as much as I can. But I think X has some like cool stuff. Like there's a lot of tech on there and news about what's coming out. All right, I'm getting distracted. Um, so yeah, Tesla internship grew into a full time. And then last year in the fall, I decided to, or I got the opportunity to go into management. So yeah, that's a bit about me. Here's some photos. Do we have any swimmers or athletes in the chat? Yeah, Simon. Life is an adventure. Super Bowl. Let's go. Anyone watching the Super Bowl tomorrow? Oh, that's cool. Track. Nice. Soccer, football, baseball, volleyball. Dance and gym. Dude, I'm trying to learn dancing. It's tough, but it's so fun. Mixed martial arts. Patriots. Anyone a Patriots fan here? Oh, we got Seahawks. Uh-oh. Seahawks are cool though. Track. Oh, are any of you guys in run clubs? I have to know. So, yeah, a couple of years ago, like I've been a swimmer my whole life, and I've really always loved running just because I can just go outside, run, enjoy the weather, enjoy the air, enjoy some great views. We have some good views in Reno. And one of my buddies at work, he's part of this Reno track club in Reno. If you guys know Reno at all, like down by the Truckee River, there is a coffee shop called Hub Coffee. And literally every Wednesday, like 60 people, like 40 to 60 people, go to this coffee shop in the morning and we all run together and do a track workout. It's so fun. So if you guys are in Reno, like legitimately hit me up and I'll take you, or we'll meet at the run club together and run. Nice. Heck yeah. Yep, dude, butterfly is hard, bro. Like I look like I'm like chilling but dude, I was literally dying. This was the 100-meter butterfly. I think it was the 100-meter. It was in Irvine, California. And man, I felt that first lap, I felt so good because I was, tapered and rested for it. But Dude, the last 50 coming back, my arms and my shoulders were feeling like they were gonna fall off. Um, yeah. What's up, Salsa and Mars? Hey, guys, just to let you know, my buddy here, Salsa, he does a lot of dance videos. So if anyone's into the dance community, reach out to Salsa. He does salsa dancing, uh, awesome videos on Instagram. So check him out. Yeah, dude, freestyle. I honestly the my best was breaststroke. Um, I guess it's the way my body is, like the ratios of my arms to my torso. But oh, dude, we got a Georgia Tech run club here. Bro, I had this in college. I had this injury and I couldn't run, bro. But I was so wanting to join the Georgia Tech run club. Uh, Aryan. So yeah, Aryan, if you come to Reno, bro, hit me up. We'll go running together in the run club, or we got some sick trails here too. Go Bills, rooting for the Seahawks. All right, all right. Nice. So yeah, here's my family. Um, this is my brother. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse cursor. My brother, his wife, my parents in the middle. Best parents ever, in my opinion. It may be biased. My brother John and his fiance, they're getting married in April. Super excited for that wedding. Yeah, it's all siblings. Um, except the two younger ladies are one's a sister-in-law and one is a sister-in-law to be. Yep. I gotta figure out this. My mouse has this like scroll wheel on it. And if I like push it too hard, it like goes through many slides. So please bear with me there. Cool. Well, you guys ready for some resume? Some resume talk? Oh yeah, we're gonna tear it up. April 18th, baby. Let's go. Huge congrats to my brother. Yeah, good question, Monish. My GPA, I'll be very transparent with you guys. At UNG, it was pretty decent. I think I like, maybe around average, but it was like a 3.7. And then I transferred into Georgia Tech, and I didn't lock in my first year. So I think it was like a 3.2 or a 3.1. It was not bad, but not super great. And then my last, I was like, shoot, bro, I gotta lock in if I'm gonna land some jobs. So I just started studying a bit harder. I came up with some systems to study, and I think I landed at like a 3.5 or 3.6. Hey, Angel's getting married in March. Congrats, Angel. Where are you getting married? Like in the US or West Coast, East Coast? Abdullah, good question. Yeah, so GPA, it definitely does matter. Um, and I think for me, when I look at people's GPA, it can help me determine, is this person going to be extra good at the technical side? Because sometimes we'll get people in that have a lower GPA. Like, um, to be honest, I'm not even super familiar with like what's high and low, but like let's say someone with a 3.4 GPA, that's still like a B plus A minus average. So they're definitely like working hard to get that GPA. But maybe that person has like extracurriculars. Maybe that person's starting a company in college, or maybe that person has, maybe their parents are going through a divorce. Maybe they're on an athletic, maybe they're on the track team at college, right? So when I look at resumes, I look at the person as a whole. A GPA is definitely something I look at, but it's definitely not the top of the list. I think for me, it's how did you like provide value to teams you've worked with, whether it's college teams, what the company you work with, like internships, um, and and like extracurriculars. Like, do you take care of your health? Are you involved in your community somehow? So I like to look at the person as a whole because you can get someone that's really smart and really can sit down and just knock stuff out, but maybe they're just not fun to work with, right? So, um, or maybe they have like maybe they're doing really well and they're really a really great person, but if they don't take care of their health at all, maybe they're just having all these health issues, and not only is that tough for the team they work on, but also it's tough for the person, right? I don't want anyone to go through health issues, or I want everyone to wake up feeling great every morning. And I think we all want that, right? Uh, Keto recipes, great question. I will host another webinar for that. Yes. Seifa, let's go to the resume tips. I will slow down my talking. Thanks for highlighting that. Okay. Let's move on. Tip number 1. All right, so first common mistake that I see most often is people just listing tasks they've done at work or at school. And most people think, okay, I just was busy at my internship, I was busy at school. That's good. Like being busy is providing value. And yes, if you're genuinely wanting to provide value for your team or for your school, if you fill up your time, like naturally that will fill up your time. However, be very careful before just listing busy work on your resume. So let's go into some examples. Yeah, responsible for designing and building automated test fixtures for production use. To me, this would blend in with, like, we get hundreds of resumes a month, right? And to me, this is super generic. Like, what does responsible mean? Okay, designing, anyone can design something. Like I could open up SolidWorks and I could design a circle, right? So like this doesn't tell me anything. Um, Building automated test fixtures. Okay, that's interesting for production use. I can't build, like with this, I can't build anything in my head. Like, okay, designing something, automated test fixtures for production use. That to me is the most generic, busy work. How did you provide value? What was the problem? What tools did you specifically use to accomplish certain tasks? Do you guys kind of get where my head is at here? Or am I just speaking gibberish? Point number 2, worked with cross-functional teams to support testing requirements. Every day, like, okay, I go to a coffee shop and I interact with the lady behind the cash register. I order a coffee and I sit and I scroll TikTok. I just worked with cross-functional teams to support the growth of this coffee shop. Like how are you going to stand out among hundreds of resumes if you literally wording your busy work like this? Like that, this, if I read this, I'm not even gonna, I'm gonna read 2 lines and move on to the next resume. And I'll put that, I'll just tell the recruiter, hey, this person is not ready. Maybe they're really good at what they do. They probably are. But how can I trust if this is what you're showing me? Because I haven't met you in person. I My only view of you is this piece of paper, which is crazy because how are you going to get to know someone with a piece of paper? That's why it's so important to word every single word you put on your resume has to be so carefully thought out. Do not just put busy work. I see this so much. Assisted in improving test efficiency and reliability. You assisted. So did you bring a cup of water to the engineer that was working on this project? Because that means you assisted with this project. So please do not list tasks on your resume in this way. All right, pay attention. This is important. Solution for mistake number 1. I want you guys to clearly state your impact and your value you provided. So how does this? You did not clearly state your impact. You assisted in improving test. I'm imagining maybe you brought water, maybe you turned on the equipment. That's how you assisted. I don't know. And how did you provide value? You improved the test efficiency and reliability. That doesn't tell me anything. I don't know. Like, was this a 0.1% improvement? What was this test? Why was this a problem? Like, this is another thing with engineering. You can do a lot of good stuff, but in the end of the day, the result doesn't provide any money or value for the company you're working for. Just because you did something doesn't mean you provided value. Just because you talked to your friend doesn't mean you're adding value and building up that relationship. Do you guys kind of get what I'm saying here? Like, I need you guys to be super specific. Okay, let's look at some examples of some better points. All right, designed and released an automated end-of-line test fixture using SolidWorks and PLC I/O that validated 12 electrical and mechanical parameters per unit. This is immediately a lot better because now the picture I'm getting in my head is that you designed and released an automated end-of-line test fixture. Okay, I think that could be improved on a little bit. I understand there's like NDA and security concerns with sharing stuff in your resume, so maybe this is the best we can get. So I understand that too. Don't get in trouble for putting too much on your resume. Using SolidWorks and PLC I/O that validated 12 electrical and mechanical parameters per unit. So what this tells me is that you knew you were leading this project, I'm assuming, because you designed and released an automated end-of-line test fixture. So it looks like you were the lead for an electrical mechanical project, and you designed it and released it. That's another thing. I see a lot of people design great things, but they never implement it. So this is why, and I'll get to this in a second, this is why sharing portfolios, especially if you're in school, take advantage of this time. Take pictures and videos of what you've done. It could be a little car. Like, I don't really care. It could be you added a little motor to a car and it goes, it just goes in a straight line. That is so much better than if you just say, hey, I designed something. Because I could pull up SolidWorks right now on my computer and I could design anything, right? It could take me 10 seconds. So please be specific. reduced test cycle time from 4.5 to 2.8 minutes, which is a 38% increase improvement, and increased your line throughput by 110 units per day. So much better. Like, I understand you probably can't share too much about this test, whatever it is. If you can, great, share some more details about it. But when I see numbers, very specific, with percentage and like how much, like this is going to provide value to the company. If the company is able to get 110 more units a day out of the factory, that is 110 more units sold to customers potentially. That is what provides value to the company. So like, it's really important to understand we are a liability to the companies that we're hired by. I'm a liability to Tesla. Every single pay period, Tesla is losing money because Dan Hobbs is part of Tesla. So when I show up to work, I need to be thankful that I'm hired. I need to realize that I'm a liability, and I need to find ways to add value to Tesla. Do you guys understand that? A lot of people feel entitled to be paid to do their job. And let me tell you, I do not deserve to be at Tesla unless I can prove to them that I'm adding more value than they're putting into me. Because immediately when I start at Tesla, they're paying me. I'm learning. They're immediately adding value to me. So when I show up to work, number one, I'm thankful to be there. Number two, I do my best to not feel entitled in any way. And number three, my mindset is like, how do I add value to this company? So important to do that. There is so much, if someone feels entitled at work, that's when we get HR involved, and that's when serious repercussions can be made. I know that sounds crazy, but that is the way that it is. And you'll find, like, I would much rather have a person with a lower GPA that comes to work thankful, comes to work wanting to add value to the team and to the company, and does their best at trying to add value. Because let me tell you, anyone can learn these things. Even if it's rocket science, you can learn. So if you have a 4.0 GPA, you're still a liability to a company that you're hired for. Unless you're an operator. That's the one thing you're adding value immediately. Cool. I hope you guys are taking notes. All right, next one, identified and eliminated false failure mode by redesigning probe alignment, reducing test-related scrap from 3.2 to less than 0.5. Beautiful. To me, it sounds like you knew what you were doing, and you were specifically spending your time to add value to the company. Because if you're saying this, assisted on improving test efficiency, that to me tells me that you have no idea what you were working on. You maybe knew how to turn the switch. You knew how to bring coffee to your coworker. But it tells me you do not know what you were doing. You were just trying to be busy. I'm sure that's not the case, but like when I see that, that's the best. Like, how can I assume anything else? Awesome. I think you guys get the point. Let's move on to 2. Common mistake number 2. Buzzwords. All right, so this one's interesting because these words sound really good, but they're not really telling me how you provided value to the company. Abdullah asked a great question. How do you determine such numbers? Bro, like when you're working on the project, you better know what your output is. You better know what your scrap is. Because if you don't know, and it, like again, if you're in school, I totally understand why you're asking this. When you're at a company, it's so important to immediately understand everything about the operation. What is your output of the line? What is your scrap? What is your yield? And then you can work with the team to calculate how can I provide the most value to save the company money, to produce more units. So if you're working at a company for more than 3-4 months and you don't know the numbers of your of like the operation or the design process or the structural FEA, it tells me that you weren't really diving into your work. So I hope, again, this is not a shot at you. This is just like we get a lot of applicants that have a lot of work experience and have been busy, but they don't know what they worked on because they were probably just being busy. They didn't take the time to understand. And you don't need a 4.0 GPA to understand 4.5 to 2.8 minutes. That's a lower number. If your machine runs faster, that's better. You don't need a 4.0 GPA for that, right? It just means, this tells me this person took the time to understand. And let me tell you, anyone can put this on their resume, right? I could just put this on my resume. When you put these numbers on your resume, people are going to ask you about them. So don't just pull numbers out of thin air. Make sure you guys are being real and honest with your resume points. I don't really care about the summary on the top page. That's more of a personal thing. I'm looking more at how you provided value. I know some people care more about that, so yeah, put a summary on the top. That's fine. Okay. You guys got point number 2? Any questions? Yep. Be humble. If you stop providing value to the company, then I hope the company finds someone that will. Correct. And that goes for me too. Yeah. Can we add lab work? Dude, 100%, bro. That lab work is basically the same as doing any work at any company. Like, you're typically in the lab, you're working with electromechanical systems, you're doing chemical processes, you're building a robot. I don't know what you're doing, but it's the same thing. Whenever you're making a product, and this even goes outside of engineering, either you understand the process and the product and what you're doing. If you understand it well, you know where to focus your time and energy, because anyone can be busy. But if you're taking the time to be busy in certain areas because you know it has the biggest impact, that is exactly what we're looking for. So please, yes, those of you who don't have any internships, especially, put your lab work, put any projects you've done in school. 100%. Awesome. Good stuff. All right, let's move on. I'll get to more Q&A here in a bit. All right, so yeah, buzzwords, we were on this. Led cross-functional collaboration to design and implement innovative solutions that met stakeholder requirements and enhanced overall product performance. That sounds really good, but honestly, that doesn't tell me much of anything. Led cross-functional collaboration sounds really good. To design and implement innovative solutions. Okay, that's kind of vague. Met stakeholder requirements. I could show up to work and just be kind of present in the projects. And the team that I'm working on, they're working towards something greater and something better for the company. So I can say this, but in reality, I didn't add much value. I was just kind of there. Maybe I designed someone asked me to design a bracket, so I designed a bracket. That's great, but that doesn't show leadership. That doesn't show initiative. That doesn't tell me that you understood what was going on. So do you guys get what I'm saying? Just because the words sound good, that doesn't mean that you should put it on your resume. This looks like it's like flowers, but there's no what's an analogy here? There's flowers, but I can't actually get the honey out of the flower, right? Or the pollen. They just look good. There's no sustenance there. Um, I have 3 years of experience. Yeah, I have different. I From what I noticed in the industry, most people prefer a one pager because to be honest, bro, like maybe there's some people that read the entire resume point by point, but what I do when I look at resumes is I'll scan 3 or 4 points. Immediately, you either know what you're talking about, or you're just like using buzzwords, or you're just like you're being super vague. So I don't need 3 pages of this to know that you're good. Um, Again, depending on the industry, depending on the person, it literally depends on the person looking at your resumes. For me, like one page is more than fine. Um, I see a lot of like senior staff level engineers that have a really solid one pager. So if they can do it, then like if you need more pages of them, it's kind of like, okay, I don't know why, but that's fine. Where I will say more pages is good is a lot of people have sent me one PDF, especially this is like mechanical design stuff. So they'll send me one PDF and that contains one page resume and then it contains 1 or 2 pages of their portfolio and actual pictures of their projects they did in school. So I really, really like that because you're sticking to that one page, but you're giving more than just the resume, which is always a plus. Um, so yeah, I hope that makes sense. Um, all right. So do you guys have any questions about the buzzwords? I think you guys are smart. You should kind of, yeah, flowers but no soil. That's good. I like that. There's no sweet without sugar. Yep. Looks can be deceiving, right? Yeah, here we go. Personally, I keep mine on one page. It forces me to maximize the signal. Yeah, that's so good because if you have 3 pages or even 2 pages, you start focusing on filling up those pages rather than really optimizing your points. Um, and if like higher level senior and staff level engineers can be effective with one, it tells me that most people can too. Um, Again, it's kind of a gray area. There's no one hard rule, but me personally, stick to the one page and really like let's hone in. Let's hone in to make stuff look good. So yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining, Kale. No, say, dude, uh, I don't care where you come from. If your resume is good, that's going to give you a better chance. I don't organize it by country. I have the recruiter sends me a set of resumes, same folder. I open them up. I look through them. So where you're from does not matter. I know, like, obviously, if you're international, like, there's the visa situation, but that's more. Thankfully, Tesla does offer that, so that's great. Some companies don't, so that can create a barrier, of course, for those. So if you're international and you need a visa, like, keep that in mind when you're applying, because you could be the perfect fit, but if a visa can't happen, that's just how it is. I wish it wasn't that way. I wish it was easier, but um, yeah, great questions, guys. Okay, we got the buzzword solution for buzzwords. I want you guys to list tools. I want you guys to list systems. And I want you guys to list constraints of the project. So some examples here. So I put a process, a design, and a data, like software side. So let's compare this to the the buzzwords here. So here's the process. So I rebalanced an assembly line work content and modified tooling clearances, reducing average station cycle time from 62 to 48 seconds, increasing daily output by 29%. So honestly, there's less buzzwords here. Like these are pretty basic words. Like these words here sound really fancy, fast-paced, drove process optimization, cross-functional teams. Sounds really, really good. And this honestly might even be, the vocab might be a little bit more like a, like a 10th grade level, so to say. But I'm getting a lot more understanding and value. I see that you're adding value here. This is not like, sounds great, like a nice flower, but like one of you guys said, there's no soil, no sugar, right? So I want you guys to really add that soil and sugar to your, add some real value. How did you add value? Did you understand what you were working on? This tells me you did not understand. Design project designed and released revised aluminum bracket using SolidWorks and FEA, resolving a fatigue failure that caused field returns and improving a factor of safety from 1.3 to 2.1. Remember, we brought up the bracket. Is designing a bracket hard? I could show it an eighth grader how to design a bracket that's in middle school or high school. So it's the difficulty of the project is okay. It's not the most complex project, but this tells me you understood why. Why were you designing the bracket? What was the impact and result and value you added to the company from designing a bracket? You could design the most fancy mechanical assembly, but if you don't really understand why you did it and why you did it the way you did it and the impacts, then to me it's just telling me that you were just busy. You were just trying to be busy, right? So please don't be busy. Rather, don't do anything and rather just spend time thinking about how you can provide value. Does that make sense? Data automation. Built a Python-based data pipeline to flag test anomalies in real time, cutting false failure events by 42% and reducing manual review by 5 hours a week. Awesome. I don't think I need to touch too much on that. It tells me you understood it. It tells me how much impact and value you provided. And again, please don't just put numbers on your resume to sound good. I want you guys to back up your numbers, because we're going to ask questions about your projects. So if you generated these projects out of thin air, we're going to find out pretty quickly. So rather have a half-page resume with real authentic projects and how you've added value than a full page or a 2-page resume that's just trying to sound as good as possible with fake projects that you didn't fully understand. So be authentic, be honest. Those two things will take you very, very far, or hinder you a lot if you're not focusing on those. Yeah, any outside of this, I would love to hear from you guys, because I'm learning too. I don't know everything about resumes. What's the best resume advice you've gotten personally? Outside of this, don't include anything here because it's just repeating. Please share your best resume advice. Let's learn from each other. I want you guys to hear from the chat, not just from me. Ready, set, go. Put your best resume advice for us. Prof Mesh, how can you show your data analysis in manufacturing resume for problem solving, or how much does it matter? Bro, like, yeah, like it kind of like we were talking about. Show that you understand the constraints, show that you understand not just that you were doing stuff, but why were you doing it? What was the result of your busyness? What was the result of your work? Use numbers to show the impact and result. Yeah, dude, totally. Just you know your project's the best, so explain it well so people can understand what you did. Because I wasn't there. Like these were not me. This I just made these up for this example. But when I read this, I know what you did. I know why you did it. I know the tools you did. I know, okay, you're resolving a fatigue failure and it caused field returns. Dude, field returns is a huge deal for a company. If Apple makes an iPhone, right? And let's say there's field returns, that means there's a critical failure in the iPhone, and they're having to call these iPhones back. They're having to pay customers. And what happens if you hear your friends have their iPhones needing to be returned? You might be like, oh man, like the OnePlus sounds pretty good. I heard there's no field returns for that. So to me, this shows me exactly they understood the impact they were gonna have. Yeah, it's a simple bracket. I don't really care. I just see this person knew why he was gonna design a bracket, right? Um, yeah, we're getting uh we're getting close to time here. So what I'm gonna do, let's see. Yep, check your grammar. Yes. Check your formatting. If you messed up your formatting and grammar, that's like it tells me you didn't really spend too much time reviewing it. Um, so for the sake of time, I'm going to I'll do this on another live stream. I'll do this on another live stream. Let's do some more live. Let's do some more live Q&A. And I wanted you guys to. I want to give you guys this PDF. And then it includes some more examples. It's also going to include some extra content for interviewing. So let me send you guys these links. And yeah, only download this if you guys found this helpful. We got read the JD carefully. Yes. That's one of the points in my PDF. Don't just curate your resume to be specific to the job you're applying for while also pertaining to your skill sets. Great point. Very, 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 very good. All right. So yeah, there's my PDF. I think you guys have my LinkedIn and Instagram, but I would love to stay in touch with you. So please add me and shoot me a direct message. I'm going to be making some more content for you guys. So this one's obviously more resume curated, interview curated. So please, before you guys leave, I'm going to spend some time answering some more questions. If anyone wants to hop on the call and ask some questions in real time, let me know. I can send you the link to join. You're welcome, Rohan. Thank you for joining, sir. Yep, you're welcome. Vatsal, of course. Yeah, what's the significance or impact of the certification courses? Yeah, I mean, it's good. There's definitely certifications that are more value add. Like if you have a Six Sigma black belt or green belt, for example, those certificates are pretty intensive. Um, so that's always a plus, especially if it's aligning with your if you can align your value you've provided to the company and your skill sets with certifications, that's the best way to do it. A lot of people I'll see they'll have random certifications on their resume, but honestly it's just kind of there and it's not really telling me how it pertains to their certain skill set. They're just getting it's a kind of like busy work, right? Like why did you get the certification? How is it going to help with your how is it going to actually help with the job you're applying for? So yeah, they're important, but just be cautious. Don't just put them on there to put them on there. There's a lot of certifications that you can get in like 2 days and just stick on your resume. Like for example, OSHA 10. We have to take that at work because we're in an active construction site for the new semi truck facility. And like yeah, in the end of the day, it's just me sitting through courses, just trying to pass it so I could get the certification. Of course, there's really good stuff in there, but just because you took OSHA 10 doesn't tell me that you're going to be a standout employee. Now, let's say that you're working in a project management and construction, and let's say you got OSHA 10 and OSHA 30 because you know they would be critical for your job because you're going to be going on construction sites. Perfect. That tells me that you know the type of job you're getting into, and it tells me that you're getting ahead of the game by getting these certifications. So I hope that makes sense. Don't just take certifications to take them. Be very calculated with your certifications. Um, yeah, vision systems and Atlas Copco tooling. Yeah, those are things used in manufacturing all the time. Um, I mean, dude, that question, like saying beginner or intermediate, it's kind of like it's kind of like it's like what level role are you applying for? If you're applying for a senior process engineer or equipment engineer that has this tooling, I expect you to be an expert in these. But if you're applying to a like a more entry level role, um, like yeah, just understanding what it is fine. And this again like goes back to some of my points. Just because you had exposure to stuff doesn't really tell me anything. You have to be like how like going back to these points here. Like how did you specifically provide value? Why were you working on what you're working on? If you just say you worked with Atlas Copco, that doesn't tell me anything. Like I could get my 3-year old uh, nephew in the factory and have him hold an Atlas Copco gun. That doesn't tell me anything, right? So just don't just stick stuff on your resume to stick stuff there. Stick real projects. How do you recommend entry level engineers with limited full time experience demonstrate impact effectively on a resume? Yeah, that's it's obviously it's when you have less stuff, it's hard. I was there in college. Maybe I could do something where I share my college resume with you guys. Not that mine was super good, but I mean at least it got me some internships. Yeah, just be obviously when you're a college student, you haven't been working at these companies for 5 years. So just show what have you been doing in your free time. It could be sports. It could be a Baja team at college. It could be a personal. Maybe you have a construction company with your dad. You can like, dude, like think of this. Let's say you do a lawn care business in the summer, and you realize that one of the one of the limiting factors was the push mower was reducing your how many lawns you could do in a day just because it's maybe really heavy. So you could give some numbers like, hey, I can only do I can only do 4 of the desired 8 customers in a day with my current equipment. So I specifically upgraded and purchased this type of equipment to increase how many lawns I could do in a day, which resulted in a 45% increase of customer interaction or lawns mowed, whatever, however you want to say that. So like you could literally take something as simple as a lawn care business and show your troubleshooting leadership engineering mindset. You don't have to design a full Baja car to be considered for an internship, right? So use whatever you guys are all like I've seen you guys' resumes. You guys are doing great stuff. So make sure you highlight that. Don't try to pretend you're something that you're not. Um, Yeah, I don't know too much about the CSWE, but if you're a mechanical designer and you use SolidWorks as one of your main tools, like yeah, show that's great. Show that you have some SolidWorks certifications. That's awesome. Um, no word limit. Just be like you can see like these are all different links here with the bullet points. Just be specific. Be impactful with each statement. Give the information that's needed. Don't give fluff. You'll find your bullet points will kind of land in the 1 to 2 sentence range. If you're going more than 2 sentences, it's probably like you need to split it up, or um, you need to like be more specific. Remove the fluff. When you're choosing between candidates, do you typically value hands-on ability? Yeah, totally, man. Like I know a lot of great engineers, and they're a lot of engineers will just sit at their desks all day. If you're not willing to go to the product and the operation and get your hands dirty, I think you're gonna miss out on a lot. Again, if you're doing busy work or getting your hands dirty and you're not doing the technical work too, like it's really an entire package. Now I understand there's like certain cases. Maybe let's say you're a Python coder for a test machine. Yes, you're gonna spend most of your time, but even then, like I expect you to know how the tester works, know how to plug it into the product, know how is the operator interacting with your tester. So even though you may be a coder for that, like still definitely know the product hands on as well. Um, Portfolios, great PDF personal website. For me, if you have a portfolio, that's like you're doing better than 80% of the other candidates. At least with that, I don't see a lot of portfolios. I love both. I think website's cool. PDF is nice and efficient, so totally up to you. Yeah, you're welcome. What instantly makes a candidate stand out to you? Yeah, sadly, like the first time I usually meet you guys is getting an email from my recruiter with a resume, right? Along with a bunch of other ones. So, uh, what immediately is going to make you stand out is really having that solid resume, being very specific, like yeah, just like the things we just talked about, right? Look at good formatting. Um, yeah, you're welcome, Raul. No problem. Glad that it helped. Uh, yep, no problem. Key expectations or qualities you look for in someone with an equipment design role. That great question. So let's go back to the bracket design. Where was it? I think it was down here. So you had designed and released a revised bracket, aluminum bracket, yada yada. So just show that your designs provided impact for the company. Be specific with your constraints. Be specific with what you did. Ideally, I like to see design engineers take something from, like, there's a problem. You fully led the design. Like, it could be as simple as a bracket. You led design. You did analysis, whether it's like fatigue analysis or efficiency, whatever analysis needs to get done, and be specific with why you did that. And then show me how you commissioned it, and then show me the value it provided the company, right? So yeah, very good question. When's the next stream? Great question. Shoot, drop, send me some DMs. Also send me in the chat what you guys want me to do next. Plan to host one very soon. Awesome. Yeah, if you don't get a call back, that's tough. If you don't get a call back after an interview, just keep trying, man. Like it's a statistics game. I had to, like, I wasn't some superhero college student, right? Like my GPA was average. I had some like I had internships, which is great, but I wouldn't say I had the most standout resume or anything. I just kept going, kept applying, kept being positive and reaching out to people. So yeah, great question. How do you know from a company's job description or website what kind of candidate they're looking for? Yeah, and some job descriptions are better than others. Here's an example of a job description. So this one's for an Optimus role, and manufacturing engineer role for Optimus. It's a public role, and yeah, so this one it's saying develop automated equipment, and you'll actually find these job descriptions are kind of vague. So like if you were to use this type of wording in your resume, it's like don't take this as like an example, right? Um, they're usually written in like 30 seconds because the whoever wrote it is obviously very busy. So you develop highly automated manufacturing lines from concept to production. So that tells me okay, you're gonna need to be developing an entire line from concept to production. So that tells me a lot of leadership, a lot of technical knowledge of manufacturing processes like OEE, ergonomics and safety, rate, tact time, like a high level of understanding. How do you work with vendors? Because if you're developing a manufacturing line, you're probably working with other vendors, performing like factory acceptance testing. So this role looks immediately. It tells me this is a you need to be like close to that senior role if you're developing an entire line. Unless they pair you with like another senior staff engineer, maybe they're accepting some entry level. Um, so this is obviously you're not just designing a one bracket or one like jig. You're looking at the entire manufacturing line. So the slightly bigger picture view, you're working with vendors, you're overseeing a massive project that's probably tens if not hundreds of millions of dollars. So immediately this job role is telling me you're not just sitting down designing that one thing, you have a bigger picture. So I think immediately that tells me what the role would kind of look like. Look at that, your qualification ramp. I work very closely with someone who does something just like this. Machine specs, standards, documentation. Like this is much less SolidWorks or PLC work. This is a lot more big picture. Um, you're going to be like indirectly leading teams that are doing all the technical work. So again, this could be a really good fit for some of you, maybe not a good fit for all for some else of you. Um, it does say SolidWorks and AutoCAD. I think that's more just for the general like obviously layouts, understanding how SolidWorks and mechanical design works because you'll be indirectly managing people that are doing that actual work. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. If you're applying for multiple positions for a company, do you need to prepare multiple or is one okay? What do you mean, like resumes? I'm gonna assume you mean resumes. Um, yeah, like let's say you're applying for this manufacturing engineer role where you're launching entire lines, and then let's say the other job you're applying for is like a tooling design engineer that's designs tooling. Those are extremely different roles, and 100% I would absolutely curate two resumes. Now, if you're applying out of college, it's a little bit harder to do that, but I think you can still find ways to make the resume a bit more applicable to the role you're applying for. Yep, I see that. No problem. How many resumes recruiters review? Yeah. I mean, dude, just because the numbers are high, like, shoot your shot because if you're not shooting your shots, even if the chances are low, the chances are zero. Like, let's say you're looking at a job application, you're like, I'm not going to apply because it's high in demand. But let's say only 10 people apply and 100 people didn't apply for the same reason you did, then you just lost. Your chance is 0% now. So you went from like a 10% chance to a 0% chance. So always apply, always be improving, have that growth mindset. Don't get down just because the number of applicants is large. Keep applying, keep going, keep improving. That's a very vague question, but obviously, like, yeah, like standout resume, good points about what you did at school, what you worked on with your projects, why you spent time. Um, yeah, the PDF. So I sent you guys the link in the chat. So if you scroll up, let's see. Let me go to that page. So copy link. So go to this link to download the PDF. I'll send it in the chat again. Cool. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for joining, and shoot me a direct message on what kind of live stream you want next. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Johnny. More questions you have, just shoot me a DM and I'll probably put it in the next live stream. You're welcome, guys. Thanks for joining. Thanks, Delwyn. Thanks, Matthias. Thanks, Ian. You're welcome, bro. I look forward to your next live stream. Thanks, Josh. Thanks, Raul. Thanks, Solani. Thanks, Aditya. Thanks, Angel. Yeah, sounds good, Kevin. Look forward to seeing your message. And yeah, again, any runners, run club, if you're in Reno, hit me up. Trying to go on some more nice run workouts. Nimish, thank you for joining. Thank you, Saya. Thanks, Carson. I'm excited for your next journey, Carson, with at Tesla. Super excited for you. Awesome, Siam. I'll look at my messages here later. Haha, thanks, Johnny. I'm glad you thought so. You guys are so fun. Like, honestly, if it wasn't for you guys in the chat, like I would have maybe spoken for a bit and then kind of blabbered on. So thank you for all the great questions, and I mean, I'm learning from you guys too. This is really a joint collaboration here. Good stuff, guys. All right, be on the lookout for another live stream announcement. See you guys later.